Filipina filmmakers making waves in the international movie scene, Isabel Sandoval made history in 2019 as the first trans woman to direct and star in a Venice Film Festival competition film with her movie Lingua Franca. And now she's back with a new short film that will premiere this week globally as part of the Miu Miu's Women's Tales.
That's right, Christine, the award-winning filmmaker, joins us now all the way from New York. She'll tell us about her new film, Shangri-La. Hello, Isabel. Glad you could join us today. Miu Miu Women's Tales is a short film series created by fashion brand Miu Miu. Tell us more about it, and how did you get the chance to be part of it?
Certainly. Hi, Paolo. Hi, Christine. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me this morning. Prada, the Miu Miu team reached out to me in late November. The Miu Miu Women's Tales is actually a short film anthology series that they started in 2011. And they previously invited some legendary women directors like Agnes Varda, Ava DuVernay, and Miranda July. So when they reached out to me in November asking if I wanted to direct the next short film for them, it was really, quite a shock, but in a very pleasant and amazing way. Of course, I jumped at the opportunity, but the catch is I had 2 months to shoot and edit the film because it's slated to premiere in mid-February, which is, and the date that we settled to release it would be this coming Tuesday, the 23rd. So I was in North Carolina at the time that they reached me out, but we shot the short film in LA in mid-December, just when the COVID cases were surging, and LA essentially became the capital of the pandemic in the United States at that time. And so we had to take a lot of precautions. I had to quarantine for nearly 2 weeks, got tested for COVID 3 times before we started rolling. And it was such a nerve-wracking experience because I knew that if I wrote and directed the film and I acted in it as well, and I knew that if I had tested positive, the whole production would shut down. So thankfully it did not. We shot for 2 days at a sound stage and all went very well. The story of the short film itself, it's set in California during the 1930s, during the Great Depression. And it's set at a time when there were anti-miscegenation laws, which means interracial relationships and marriages were prohibited. So say Caucasian or white Americans were not allowed to marry people of color, and that included Filipinos. And so the short film is set in a church confessional where a Filipina farm worker, whom I play, go to a confession, and halfway through the film, my character goes into these reverie and these rhapsodies where I imagine alternate worlds and alternate lives for myself as someone who is completely free to love who I want to love and be loved in return. So that's the basic gist of the short for Miu Miu.
I guess a lot of people are looking for their own Shangri-La, their own place where they could just be free and happy. Now, speaking of Shangri-La, it will have its digital premiere this week. But I mean, you have been such a busy bee that even before it's premiered, you are already working on your upcoming film, a feature film, and you were saying that that's where you are right now, working on it. So tell us more about that.
Yes, so I actually just got to this artist residency in upstate New York a few days ago. It's called Yado, and it's one of the 2 most prominent artist residencies in the US. So some of their previous fellows here include the likes of James Baldwin, Truman Capote, who wrote Breakfast at Tiffany's, and the poet Sylvia Plath. I'm here to work on a completely new screenplay, Tropical Gothic, which was my project that was announced a few months back. I actually already finished the screenplay for that one, but let me talk a bit about Tropical Gothic. It is my fourth feature film, and it's my most ambitious visually and in terms of story. It's set in 1570 in the Philippines, so very early during the Spanish colonial regime. And it's about a native priestess, or what we call a babaylan, who becomes dispossessed. So her farmland and her property are seized from her by the Spaniards and turned over to a Spanish historian who becomes her landlord and her master. So she finds out that the Spanish historian is still mourning and grieving the death of his bride from a few years before. So, what our native priestess does is she pretends to be possessed by the spirit of the Spanish master's dead bride in order
Nice.
to psychologically manipulate
A little
him.
bit of shades
So,
of
as
Rashomon there. Very
what's that?
interesting. It sounds really, really
Yeah,
quite interesting. First things first, though, we want to really focus on Shangri-La. We're all excited
yes.
about this. We want to wish you good luck on the digital premiere for Shangri-La, and you
Thank
guys
you.
can certainly watch it on the YouTube pages of Miu Miu and its website, miumiu.com. We're proud of you, Isabel. Looking forward to everything
Thank
else
you.
that's going to come from you from this point on. Thank you so much for being with us right here
Thank
on New
you.
Day for all the news you need and more.